Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We did it. We made it to the best part of my week. I don't know whether it's the best part of your week, but it's the best part of my week. It's the Red Hot Underdogs. And I just want to say thank you. I'm AnzaK, and with me tonight always is the ever incredible, long contained, often imitated, never duplicated. Put your hands together once more for Drewy.
Hey, buddy. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the podcast that tries to go somewhere, but more often than not goes absolutely nowhere at all.
Oh, yes, but I tell you what, that was the first time we've had that intro song, and that went somewhere.
That did go somewhere. Baby steps.
Baby.
Like they said with the landing on the moon, one small step for man. This is one small step for the Red Hot Underdogs. Maybe not so much one giant leap for mankind, but we'll see how we go.
Yep. Let me say thank you to Mickey Morphingaz for that song, and it sounds good, and he whipped it up for us. I just said, look, Drewy and I want rock and roll. You know, we want something a bit 80s. Something that talks about sport. And so, yeah, thank you so much for Mickey for that song. And I love it. Drewy, you love it. How many times have you listened to it since I sent it to you a couple of days? Be honest.
Well done, Mickey. Absolute musical genius.
Yep.
He was built with extra ability in the musical talent sector.
Yes.
I've listened to it over and over and over. I
Yep.
can still hear in my head, well done, big guy.
Yeah.
Before I read out the scores for today,
Yep.
or for the week, in fact, for the Rugby League, one thing I will mention is that Rugby League has just had its 14th Immortal during the week.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So well done to Ron Coote.
Yep.
It's amazing. One thing I am glad of, because he's 79 years old, is that he was able to become an immortal before he died.
Yeah.
Even though that makes no sense, because if you're immortal, you never die.
No,
So
it should be a thing, Drewy. You should get immortality before you're dead. I think so.
yes,
You know?
correct. I just want to explain something for the lower intelligence listeners of our podcast, which is many, and I don't place myself as an intelligent person, so we're all in the same pool. Just to help you out, just because Ron Coote has been named the 14th Immortal, this does not mean that there are 14 immortal people that are walking the face of the earth, and they just so happen to be rugby league players.
Yeah. Okay.
This is not the case. It's a terminology given to a guy who was extra elite in the game of rugby league.
Yep.
So, just a quick rundown on his career. He actually won 6 premierships, 4 for Souths and 2 for Easts, which were the Roosters back in the day, now known as Sydney Roosters. So all up, he played 257 games. So well done, Ron Coote, the latest immortal. Not only are you iconic for Australian Rugby League, but you're also Aussie slang, for having a root.
Yes.
Yes. Well done, Ron Coote. Okay. Just to recap some of the results for this week. So the Tigers, unfortunately, dare I say it, beat the Sea Eagles 34-26.
Yeah.
The Dogs beat the Warriors.
You want to run? Yeah, I want to talk
I'll
about.
run through the scores.
Yeah.
I'll run through the scores, then we'll get to them.
Yep.
The Dogs 34 beat the Warriors 18. The Broncos 30 beat the Eels 24.
Yep.
The Raiders 22 in a huge boil over beat the Panthers 18.
Yeah.
The Storm 48 beat the Dolphins 6. They helped Manly secure a top 8 despite Manly having a really, really bad week. The Knights 36 beat the Rabbitohs 16. The Sharks 38 beat the Dragons 10, and the Roosters 48 beat the Titans 22. to round out the week. Getting to the Manly match, what are your thoughts?
Well, it was Thursday night. I think I told you, and I was off to the movies with Rich to see Alien, and it was the only time I could see it. So it sounds crazy. So I was going there, and I was like, I'm just going to have to watch Aliens, the movie, and watch the game at the same time. But when it started, it was just, I know I've said before, I've watched rugby league at the Opera House, watching the opera before, but I could kind of hide it in my hat, but I just couldn't do it. So I watched half and I didn't see the live, the comeback, Tommy Trbojevic almost put it together. But I saw Saab fluffed it a couple of times, and I lost count with the bloody penalties. It just, it was ridiculous,
Yes, yes.
When that happens, that a team, in this case Manly, can get ripped off, by a penalty count. What was the final penalty count?
I don't know, because I stopped counting when it got to 6-1 for the Tigers.
Yeah.
The one thing I want to say, I just want to watch a game of rugby league for a change where you don't have a referee trying to coerce the game into a competitive narrative.
Yeah.
If it's a blowout or a thrashing, let it be a blowout or a thrashing. If it's close, let it be close. If it's a mid-range boring game, let it be that too. But can we just let the game unfold of its own momentum? I know I'm going to sound like I'm pissing on the Tigers fish and chips, but trust me, I'm not. I give you guys all the credit in the world. You won the game. But 3 sin bins in a game is ridiculous.
No,
particularly
team,
you go.
No team can win with 3 players off. That's 30 minutes playing a game, for half the game with 1 less
player. 30 minutes. Referee Peter Goff, yes, I am going to mention your name. You are not fit for purpose. I'm sorry. He was like an impersonation of a narcissistic yellow wiggle and a traffic cop, all in one, blowing that whistle ad nauseum. And I'm kind of surprised that Peter Goff's whistle didn't get into the Hall of Fame, because it got a bloody big workout. It was just annoying, It was just like, for the record, to say that I'm not completely against Peter Goff, I thought one out of his 3 sin bins was right, which was the last sin bin. But by that stage, we'd already had 20 minutes without a player. And we almost snatched it. Unfortunately, Peter Goff is kind of a tiny guy that, probably can't even get on any of the rides at Tokyo Disneyland. He probably doesn't even meet the height restrictions for the teacup.
It doesn't.
He's just one. No, for the revolving teacups or the Ferris wheel, he's just an angry little man. And he made me an angry supporter, because all he needed to do was go out there and just referee a normal game. We don't need closeness. We don't need extra narratives.
It does happen. You get refs that, Cherry got off on the wrong foot, Manly got off on the wrong foot, and it was just pushing shit uphill for the rest of the game. Manly couldn't win it. Just decided.
Nobody can win a game having 1 less player for 30 minutes. It just really simply isn't possible. So congratulations to the West Tigers. You did very well. You won. When I say you did very well, you got a hell of a leg up, but you did what you had to do. So I'm not going to completely hang a shit on your birthday cake. You won, and you deserve the victory, but Manly could have done without those instances, because at least 2 of them, particularly the first sin bin, was not sin bin worthy. And it almost seemed like a premeditated decision, because the length of time it took the tacklers to get off the Tigers player was essentially the regular time that it would take any tackler to get off a tackle.
Yep.
But it is what it is. One thing I will say about Manly, unfortunately, I've done enough of rubbishing the referee. Don't come to the Northern Beaches because you're not welcome, Peter Goff.
Yeah.
But complete lack of discipline from Manly at times. Not as much ill discipline as the referee would have you to believe, but I just feel that Manly have too many mistakes in them. There's a lack of game awareness, and more than anything, a huge lack of game management. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm over talking about it. Let's move on to the next one. I mean, the good news for Manly this weekend is we have definitely made the 8. Definitely.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Because Dolphins lost to the Storm, got smashed by the Storm.
Yes.
We're going to be in the 8. We're going to have at least
Oh,
the final game.
yes.
And even though that Sharks won
Yes.
today,
Yeah,
it is
yeah, yeah.
technically possible that they
Yeah.
lose the next 2
Yeah.
and Dogs don't win the next 2 as well, which is Manly beating the Dogs and beating the Sharks, and Manly just snatch a top 4 spot. I do like it that it's possible. Is it likely going to happen? We'll see, but it
No.
is possible. It's what mathematically possible, you know?
It's possible. It's mathematical. It's mathematically possible. I don't think it will happen.
Yep.
If I'm the supporter of any side in the top 8,
Yep.
the 2 teams I don't want to be a supporter of are Manly and potentially the Dragons if they make it. They're touch and go right now. Manly in particular, because it seems though when Manly get a lead, they're not aware of the time on the clock. They try too many trick shots. They don't do fundamentals. They don't stay composed. Their lack of game management is kind of really ridiculously bad given how good some of the players are. But I won't rubbish Manly too much. They know that they stuffed up. We can't blame it all on the referee, but just their ill discipline at times, their mistakes. And I think the 2 biggest things that I pointed out already are just their lack of composure and game management. They really need to go back and think about how they play a game. It just feels like they turn up to each game and they don't learn from their mistakes.
Yep. So
Anyway,
now Manly 100% will make the 8, and
yes.
it's not impossible for us to make the 4. Just Sharks have to lose twice, once to Manly,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and the Dogs have to lose twice, once to Manly, which is very possible. And also, I don't think the Cowboys can get up there too. They're 1 point behind. Yeah. So but
I think the Cowboys are ahead of us. Just quietly.
yeah. So that's assuming Cowboys don't win 2. They can win 1, but if Manly wins 2 and they don't, so it is possible. You're right. Yeah, yeah. We're on. No. Cowboys aren't ahead of us. We're 29 to 28. Okay.
Okay.
So
if there's a side that I think should be greatly celebrated this year, it's the Bulldogs.
yeah,
They have been absolutely amazing. I think apart from the Storm, they are the absolute form side of the competition, apart from the Storm. The Storm, they've made a believer out of me. I wasn't so high on them at various parts of the year. I let it be known in other episodes. I was expecting them to fall over at certain points. But they looked almost unstoppable against the Dolphins. And bearing in mind, the Panthers lost a huge boil over to Canberra and don't look nearly the same team creatively in attack without Nathan Cleary.
Yep. And what about that last spot? Like right now, Dolphins are sitting in 8th spot. Okay. And they've got to play Brisbane.
No, I think it's St. George for memory. I think St. George is still in 8th spot. Dolphins are just out. Dolphins have taken. Is that up to date?
Maybe it's not. Yeah. Okay.
I don't think it is. I think yours is out of date. The Dolphins are out of the 8. It's actually the Dragons holding on by a narrow thread. And funnily enough, Brisbane still have a chance to make
Yeah.
it still.
Yeah.
But just because other sides just haven't been consistent and haven't been winning. So if Brisbane can have such a horrendous year and still potentially make the 8, it kind of proves that anyone can. And they're a side that I really don't want to make the 8. Trust me. As bad as they've been going, they can turn it on a dime at any point.
So
and for me, they're a fear factor.
who do you want to play, Drewy, in the top 8? So Manly's in the top 8. I mean, of course, we would love to get that 4th spot and play Melbourne, because Melbourne are guaranteed minor premiers. So Manly can snatch that 4th spot, go down to Melbourne. That would be the best. It really would be.
Yes.
But having said that, yeah, you're totally right. Dragons are in 8th spot. But Broncos, Dolphins, and Knights and Raiders all on 26 points. So technically, provided that Dragons don't win 2 and those teams win 2, it's anybody's, you know?
Yeah. Playing devil's advocate, I don't think that we are actually going to. I don't think we're going to make the top 4. So if I'm just based solely on the top 8,
Yep.
I think we're going to end up playing the Cowboys anyway.
Do you think so? So just to go over the rules,
Possibly.
So 5th and 6th get a home game.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
So we'll like Manly can get 5th and 6th. Let's say that
we can. Well, look, I think right now all we're doing is speculating. I think we're just going to have to see.
Yep. And sometimes Manly has had a home game and it's actually hasn't been a home game. They've said, "Oh, it's a home game," and it's bloody in Sydney,
in Brisbane.
Yeah, exactly.
Magic round.
No, but I'm talking about in previous years. I remember.
I know.
And I was like, hey, it should be our home game, and but because Brookie or Four Pines, whatever you want to call it, has had all those upgrades, are we guaranteed an actual home game if we are 5th or 6th?
Yeah, 5th and 6th, I believe, actually get a home game.
Okay, but you know what I mean. We've had 5th or 6th before and played in the city.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to get.
But you know what? I know people think it's great. Yeah, it's good, whatever.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, once that first whistle goes, you still got to win the bloody thing.
Yeah.
Home ground or not. But it is what it is.
Let's say Sharks. Okay. Look, I'm just looking at it now. So Sharks are 3rd, Panthers are 4th because Panthers lost.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Wow. Okay, so geez, that's interesting, isn't it? So technically Panthers and Sharks cannot make the top.
Yeah. So, look, lots of different combinations, permutations, different scenarios, and that's what's made this season so great. Like different bottlenecks and closeness in competition. It can turn on a dime at any time, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Look, Drewy, we can't make the top 4. I've just had a look. You're hearing me talking shit all this time, but we can't do it. Manly can't.
That's all right. I'm happy with that.
31 points, and Sharks are 36, and Panthers are 36. So there's no way we can make the top 4.
I'm not greedy. I don't care. I just like to make the top 8.
Okay. Well, we're definitely doing that.
Having not made the top 8 for a couple of years.
Yep.
I'm glad to finally make it. So
it looks like the other ones, not the top 8, 5 to 8 will include us, and the Bulldogs, Cowboys, and Dragons. Out of those, who would you want to play? Bulldogs, Cowboys.
Oh, Dragons.
Yeah.
If I could have a choice, definitely the Dragons. I want to avoid the Bulldogs like the plague.
Yeah.
All of their supporters are doing turtle spins like Ray Gun because they should be stoked. They've been the big improver. Yeah. They've just been massive. It
would be nice to just beat them in the first final, though, wouldn't it? For Manly to beat the Dogs in that first final. That would be awesome. And
I don't care who
play
we
that
play.
against
I just want to play in that semi-final,
Yep.
which is what we got. And at the end of the day, I just want to win, which
Yep.
for Manly is no guarantee.
Yep.
Because as you've heard me say 1 trillion times before on loop, my favourite famous Drewy line: Manly have fucked up more leads than the FBI and the KGB.
Yep. Cheers to
Yeah.
that.
Cheers to that.
Hmm.
So the rugby league will be interesting.
Yep.
I caught wind of another development in a different sport
Yep.
during the week. Unfortunately, because I'm a huge boxing fan, one of
Yep.
my massive boxing idols, Iron Mike Tyson,
Yeah. Yeah.
is having a massive cringe moment
Yeah.
facing a YouTuber called Jake Paul, or
Jake
as
Paul.
I prefer to call him, Fake Paul.
Fake Paul. Jesus.
So,
Fakey. Yeah.
because he's not a real boxer.
No.
He's a snotty-nosed Disney kid turned YouTuber
Yep.
who's 27, trying to go in there off the back of the name of a 58-year-old legend and
Jesus.
beat the
I
shit
thought he
out
was
of him.
59. He's 58, is he? Wow.
He's
younger than-
58.
Yeah. Okay.
Mike, don't do this.
Yeah.
This is actually been sanctioned as a proper boxing fight on
What?
November the 15th. This
Yeah.
will go on Mike Tyson's record. Mike, if you lose this, you have lost to a Disney kid
Yeah. Wow.
turned YouTuber.
But there's people that are keen on it. Like we've even had people comment, and I've spoke to people that are like, "Oh yeah, I'm keen." It's got out there. It's famous. It's a circus, yes, but people
Thank you, circus.
on it. It's a circus, but people are interested in it.
For hardcore boxing fans, this isn't not only a circus, it's an absolute travesty.
Yeah.
Like how you're giving this guy a platform, but unfortunately, so he had his own YouTube channel, whatever, and big thing on YouTube, watched by people from the age of 12 till about 20.
Yeah.
If you're watching this guy on YouTube and you're over the age of 20, you've either got a few issues. You're either been a child without a father, you haven't had a root, or you need some serious psychology.
Or three.
Because no one over the age of 20 is watching this guy. It's all like teeny boppers. But because of his clout,
Yep.
he's a big deal. He's made millions.
Yep. Yep.
And unfortunately, like, if you face these guys in their prime, if they were both 27 years old, Mike Tyson would cut through Jake Paul like a chainsaw through a puppy dog in under 20 seconds.
I just want to do this. So Iron Mike is 58, correct?
Yes, yes.
Minus 27 equals 31. There's even
yes,
more
31-year difference
than his age. Like the difference is bigger than his age. Jesus.
Mike Tyson had become the youngest heavyweight champion of the world, made multiple defenses, gone to jail, and started the second part of his career just as Jake Paul was born.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
It's just comical, isn't it? You know, like.
And why does Mike Tyson need to do it?
Iron Mike pulled out a few months ago because of health concerns or something. What happened? Did he slip in the nursing home, or what happened? He fell over.
Here's the news flash.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson had an ulcer. If this doesn't tell you this fight should not be happening, then Mike Tyson pulling out because he had an ulcer should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And let's face it, Mike Tyson hasn't looked after himself either.
Yeah.
He's burned more joints than a 90-year-old with arthritis. He loves his marijuana.
Yeah.
So he hasn't treated his body like a temple. He's treated it like Kimbricky Tip. Plus he's 31 years older.
Yeah.
So Jake Paul, unfortunately, is cashing out on faded UFC stars who are retired, basketballers, butchers, bakers, and candlestick makers. And now he's got a decrepit old Iron Mike Tyson in his sights.
Well, we're going to talk about it, Drewy. It's definitely going to
Yeah, I
be,
know.
it's, you know, it's going to be talked about. Maybe it'll be exciting. Hey, is it possible this is exciting?
I hate circuses. I don't watch them.
Okay.
And
Who do you want to win? Am I allowed to say that? Are you
oh,
interested?
of course, Mike Tyson. It'd be a
Yeah.
travesty if this poodle-headed Disney kid beat Mike Tyson. That would be the end of the boxing world as we know it, and it would be on his record.
Yeah,
That
but
would be an absolute travesty.
it's just anybody that's that old just can't keep going for that long. You know,
No.
he'll be just mashed potatoes after 3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he'll just be jelly arms. He'll spaghetti arms.
Well, that's what happens. So I give Mike Tyson one chance,
Yep.
which is the first round.
First
He's got a
round.
puncher's chance.
Yeah.
After that,
Over.
when he throws punches, he'll be
Yeah.
looking like a 94-year-old trying to catch $100 bills in the breeze.
Yeah.
He'll look exhausted, uncoordinated, and I think he'll be money for jam, unfortunately. And this little tool, who's 31 years younger,
Yep.
will probably dine out on it for the rest of your life, going, "Oh, I beat Mike Tyson."
Yep.
It's
He'll
like a
know that too.
20-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like a yeah.
Jake Paul will know he just has to
Mm.
get through that first round or two. He'll know that.
Yeah.
He'll
Yeah.
just be blocking, play it safe for a couple of rounds, and then he'll
Yeah.
just jab and get his way in there, you know?
But beating this version of Mike Tyson is like a 20-year-old beating Usain Bolt in the 100-meter dash.
Mm.
You know, it's ridiculous. But Tyson doesn't even need to make the money. He's had the career. I don't understand it. For the record, Mike Tyson stands to make $20 million from this fight. Jake Paul stands to make $40 million because he has the social media platform.
What's it going to be on? Is it going to be just on his Facebook or whatever?
It's on Netflix for free. It's not pay-per-view.
Right. It's on Netflix for free. I gotta love that. I like it. I like that. You know, Netflix for free.
You know what?
Yeah.
For as much as I'm against this fight and pride myself on supposedly being a hardcore boxing fan, this might indeed be the first time I actually watch a circus fight because it's on Netflix
10
for
minutes
free.
plus. Ding, ding.
Thank you, buddy.
Is that the quickest time ever? Seriously.
Oh, mate,
right?
It goes by quick.
Yeah.
Just to give you a rundown on the conditions of the circus fight.
Yeah.
So they're going to have 8 2-minute rounds.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're going to have bigger gloves than usual. So let me tell you, this is for Iron Mike's purpose, not for Jake Paul's.
Of course.
Because he's a faded legend. You get a lot of casuals going, "Oh, but I saw Mike Tyson on YouTube and he looked like an absolute beast on the mitts."
Yeah.
Yes, they show him for 40 seconds. What they don't show you is after that, they have 3 people coming in with 4 carafes of water, 5 fans blowing him down, and 8 towels to wipe the sweat off him. So
and he just has a little nap. Yeah.
And he has a nap. I don't like the fight.
Put a nana nap. He has a little nana nap. But 40 seconds of punching, he has a 5-minute nana nap. But he's not going to be able to do that in the rounds, you know. In the fight,
put a little pillow under his head. Yeah. To put things into perspective, this is actually 14 minutes less than a regular non-title fight, which is 10 rounds. For a title fight in boxing, it's 20 minutes less. So they're basically just fighting for 16 minutes. And it's the fight where no one wins. You're right. It's an absolute circus. So,
but you know what? It's free.
It's free. And and just to put things into perspective, so Jake Paul has lost one fight against Tommy Fury, who was Tyson Fury's half brother. But Tommy Fury is a rubbish fighter. He's a journeyman. To put things into perspective, the combined record of all of Tommy Fury's opponents are, wait for it, 30 wins, 176 losses, and 5 draws.
Wait, did you say 30 wins and 176? Did you say 100?
losses and
Jeez.
5 draws.
Or just
If this
100?
doesn't bring
Forget
out
the
the
draws. 176 losses. Who has he fought that's lost that many times? Well, you know,
if
like
if this doesn't bring out the unicycle and the ring of fire to tell you it's a circus,
yeah,
then nothing else will.
yeah. This
Uh
is ringmaster stuff here.
yeah.
Oh
Just
well.
quickly coming into this week on
Yeah.
another subject, we got the US Open happening.
Yeah.
So Novak Djokovic will chase his 25th
Come on.
major. Whether he ever wins one or not, that's
Yeah.
another story. It's been a pleasure to watch.
Yeah.
There'll be Carlos Alcaraz
Yeah.
and there'll be Yannick Sinner.
Sinner.
Uh,
Yeah.
Funnily enough, Yannick Sinner is the number 1 seed for the
Yeah.
tournament.
Yeah.
Djokovic is 2 and Alcaraz is 3.
Yeah.
If you had have asked me, my seeds would have been Alcaraz 1, Sinner 2, and Djokovic 3.
Agreed.
But
Agreed.
they've got their own way of working it out.
Yep. Yep.
There are certain narratives for if you're a fan of any of the fighters that will give you hope that they could. Oh, not fighters.
Fighters.
Thank you. We've been talking too much boxing. They're doing their fighting on the tennis court.
I'd like to see
Red
that.
Hot Underdogs.
You know what?
But-
I reckon all 3 of those, it'd give Tyson a run for their money too, because these guys are fit. Fit.
They are fit, but
Yeah.
they don't have a chin, mate. They're not lasting past the first serve.
Yep.
Even though it's tennis as opposed to boxing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you're a Sinner fan, you can take heart in the fact that outside the majors, he's been winning everything under the sun.
Yeah.
For a Novak Djokovic fan, you can take heart that the fact that after the last major loss that he had to Alcaraz, he beat Alcaraz in the Olympics to win the gold medal.
Huge
And if
win.
you're an Alcaraz fan, you can rest your head and your hat on the fact that Alcaraz has won the last 2 majors.
And
So
awesome and only getting better.
yes, there's something in that for everyone.
Yep.
But for mine, Alcaraz is the number 1 seed. But again, who knows? We'll see how it goes.
Next week, is it Drewy? Next week?
I think it starts on Monday. I have a feeling it starts tomorrow. Yeah.
And I did hear that Aussies have the highest number of Aussies ever,
Yes.
or in some ridiculous amount of years.
In some capacity.
Yeah.
And just a side note, going into this
Yep.
tournament, Sinner actually tested positive for steroids twice in March, 2 different tests.
Yeah.
And he's fired his trainer and his physical therapist heading into the tournament because he got cleared.
Yeah. Okay, yep.
If ever there was a surname that fits a steroid user perfectly, it's Sinner.
It's Sinner.
So,
You
well
know,
done, Yannick.
well, no, there's worse. You could be user, you know?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. But I think Sinner's pretty good.
Oh,
But-
yeah. Yeah. It's up there. It's up there.
It's an interesting situation.
Yeah.
Forgive me if the video cuts out halfway through because it's a case of beat the bomb at the Red Hot
We've got 4
Underdog.
minutes, cuz. 4 more minutes.
Okay.
4 minutes.
Okay. Just quickly, his appeal was a bit of a dog ate the homework one.
Yeah.
He said that his massage therapist
Yeah.
was given some spray by his actual trainer, and the spray was to spray on a cut which was on his finger.
Oh.
And then when the massage therapist, the physical therapist, was massaging Sinner,
Yeah.
some contamination from the spray, which contains some steroid properties in it, was massaged into the skin for Sinner.
Oh.
Hence the positive test.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a scientist and
Yeah.
I'm not a lawyer, but to me, that sounds very much like a dog ate my homework.
Yeah, that's very
excuse.
dog ate my homework, but it's better than no excuse at all. And look,
Yes.
we've had a lot of people in the past. Remember Sharapova? She got, you know, she had a bit of a funny excuse. Oh yeah, I didn't know. I took these pills and someone gave them to me and blah blah blah. And she was banned for, you know, she contested it, but I think she was banned for a year and a half or something. And it affected her, definitely affected her.
Yeah,
I think it'll affect Sinner, like, because tennis is such a mental
game.
It really, really
I
is.
don't think so. I think mentally he'll be fine. I think the biggest hurdle he has to deal with is losing his trainer
Yeah.
and his physical therapist
Yeah.
leading into the tournament. But he's been there before. He's done it. He's won a major. I think he's professional enough to overcome the hurdle.
Just to talk about his excuse. So he said he had steroids in a spray or cream. That does exist, Drewy. You know, you get moisturizer with steroids in it, but
yeah.
still, like, let's say, what was his finger? What did he cut? You know?
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a pass the parcel or relay because the trainer gave the physical therapist the spray, the physical therapist sprayed on his finger, and then massaged Sinner. And
But even if the massage just put it on his finger, right?
yeah,
Still can get into his bloodstream.
It can.
Yeah.
So they're greater minds than ours that decided on it. So I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I kind of do too. You know.
Yeah.
I do. I want to see him play, and this stuff is I know we hear about it and people jump on the drug cheat. God, say that 3 times. It's not easy, but really, there's a lot of, you know, products and creams and pills out there, and a lot of, you know, chemicals that you don't even know that you know, forbidden, prohibited. You know,
we could have steroids in ourselves right now.
Yeah, there could be steroids in this water. You know,
there could be.
Yeah, there could be. I'm serious.
Judging by your frame, I'm doubting it right now, but maybe.
Yeah. Well, mate, we got less than a minute to go, so
beautiful.
It's been quite a relaxed podcast because, you know, we were all pumped and ready this morning, and
yes,
message. Oh, mate, I can't do it, and but we've had a exhausting day. I think it
has.
Yeah.
Well, the air's been taken out of my balloon when you do it later on in